Hey Braver Women, welcome back to the next episode of the Braver Women podcast show. And a quick content note before we get into this episode. I just want to share with you that this episode includes brief references to addiction, self-harm and suicide ideations during a small part of the conversation. It's spoken about in the context of recovery and healing, but I wanted you to be aware so that you can take care and look after yourself while listening and step away if you need to. Now, this isn't a polished interview. It's not scripted and it's not meant to be. What you're about to hear today is a real conversation. It's relaxed, it's messy in places, and most importantly, it's very human, very authentic. We're not trying to perform here or ask and answer the right questions. This space and this podcast is about letting braver queer women speak in their own voices, in their own way. And the point is not to tidy stories up, it's to let them be heard just exactly as they are. And if something in this conversation resonates with you, then my hope is simple, that it starts to help you feel permission to use your own voice too, in whatever way feels right for you. One of the things that trauma takes, and people really don't talk about this enough, in my opinion, is your voice. Not literally, but your ability to say what you actually think and feel out loud without running it through about 20 filters first. For a lot of queer women that I work with, that starts really early. When you live your life through the imprint of trauma or being different, and the lasting impression that all of that leaves, taking up space can feel risky. Using your voice can feel really unsafe. Even answering with more than a word or two can feel like too much. And it's not because you're shy. It's usually because you're still bracing, you're still expecting criticism, judgment, or being left alone if you say the wrong thing. I notice this very frequently during initial consultations or in the early stages of a therapeutic relationship. I may ask some questions, and usually the giveaway is one-word answers. And it's something that I want you to be aware of and put it on your radar. If it's something that you do, then it just gives some meaning behind it. Rather than you not being a good communicator, it's likely that you're running your conversations and your interactions through a lens of fear, just as I've described. And I think for a lot of queer women, we're different before we have the language for it. We learn pretty quickly what lands well and what doesn't, don't we? So we adapt. At times we can keep certain things to ourselves, and at other times we can stay really quiet. And I think the important thing to name here is this is why the stories on this show really matter. I don't just share them for inspiration or hope. I share them because they show what it actually looks like when a woman starts using her voice again after years of holding it back, after years of just giving clipped short answers, after years of just playing it safe. And when that happens, something shifts for the women speaking and for you, the women listening. Because the moment that you speak differently, the moment that you start relating to yourself differently and telling a different story about who you are, you're no longer stuck inside the trauma. You're looking at it from the outside. And that's when your voice stops being about getting through and starts being about just being the real you. Now, today's guest on the Braver Women podcast show knows exactly how all of that feels. I want to introduce you to a remarkable client. Her name is George. George is based here in the UK, and she came to me after years of battling with herself following childhood trauma. Interestingly, her sexuality wasn't the thing that impacted her life the most. What happened to her did. Before we worked together, George had struggled with her mental health in ways that no one ever should. The ideas that she held about herself were inaccurate and deeply internalized, and they were quietly running her life. She felt disconnected and powerless. She spent years escaping herself, numbing out through addictions, living her life through other people, and losing her sense of who she was. She'd been in and out of therapy before, all through her childhood and early adult years. But like a lot of women, she'd learned how to perform rather than change. And it's fair to say that she wasn't ready back then. And I think a big part of it, and she'll name it herself, no one had ever shown her how to stay connected to herself while meeting what she was feeling, while being able to hold complexity. In this episode, George talks honestly about her therapy journey with me for you to hear, and also about what started to shift for her on the inside. She talks about what she was carrying before she came in, what it was like to actually lean in, even when parts of the work touched something painful on the inside, the unacknowledged parts of her that she'd been avoiding for years. Now, her journey is like everybody else's on this show. It's not neat, and it's definitely not easy, but it is deeply transformative because she stayed with it, and she stayed with it in a unique way. I deliver therapy in a very different way, and that's what allows you to be able to make some of those changes that you ordinarily wouldn't be able to do in just routine or regular once a week sessions. But now she's here to tell you in her own words how her life, her relationships, and most importantly, her relationship with herself has changed. So I'm going to introduce you to her now. Welcome to George on the Braver Women podcast show. Enjoy the episode.
Cool. Okay, thank you, Leanne. I'm George, and I currently live Milton Keynes way. Originally from Dorset, moved around West Sussex, here, there, everywhere. I work in London at St Thomas's Hospital. I have a son. I have a girlfriend who has a little boy.
Yeah.
So we're co-parenting. I have two brothers.
Yeah.
My family, my mum and dad are separated, but they are very happy with their other partners. My downtime consists of snowboarding.
I was wondering when you were going to get onto that.
Yeah, kickboxing, all sorts of stuff. I've tried to keep myself as active as possible. And the coolest thing in the world is that a whole week ago, I gave up smoking.
Oh, fantastic. That's excellent. Good for you. What a great start. Great introduction.
So, yeah, that's me.
Amazing. So, George, I know you. I know you're such an incredible character. Very cheeky, and you've got such a great side to your personality. But obviously, people don't know George. They don't know you very well in the same way that I do. But tell us a bit about what you were like as a kid. Were you naughty? Were you really studious? What was it like growing up for you?
I was quite shy when I was a kid. I was quite reserved. And we moved around a lot as kids, so I didn't make many friends, and I found it really difficult to make friends.
Yeah.
So I was the quiet new girl all the time, that didn't really fit into any mold. I didn't fit anywhere, I didn't think. We used to hang out with the boys, played a lot of football, was a proper tomboy. I had by the time I was 16, I had my hair was down to my bum. When I did my GCSEs, my mum said, "What do you want as a well done for your GCSEs?" And I said, "I want my hair cut off. That's it. That was what I wanted." Wow. So right up to sort of 16, I was just very boyish.
Yeah.
And
that felt right, and that felt good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It always did. Always did.
Yeah, and I totally resonate with that. That was the same for me, but I don't think my mum would have allowed me to get the chop with the scissors. But did she allow you to do that?
Yeah, she did. Yeah. So we had to do it in stages. So so it was short, and then they were long, and then mid-length, and then it went shorter.
So you said that you were shy and that you were quiet growing up, and used to hang out with the boys, used to like playing football and doing all that kind of cool stuff. When was it that you started to realise that you were a bit different?
When I was around sort of 10, 11, I used to hang out mainly with the effeminate males, the ones that are all gay now.
Okay.
So
they were on your radar.
So we were all, so it was I think I knew then that I was different.
What was it, George? What did you notice? Because the reason why I asked this question is because there's a lot of women out there still trying to connect things that were going off with them as a child to where they are now, and feeling quite confused. Well, how come I'm married now, or how come I'm in a relationship with a guy, but this was me back then? So what was going on inside of you?
For me, I didn't trust men in general, like guys in general, and it was sort of like that was a hard learning curve for me. Was finding out that the people that you sort of trusted abused that, abused that power, and I was always quite shy around girls. They made me like all giggly and like not quite, like really unsure of myself. And it wasn't until I was I was 14 when my mum said, so you know your mate, is she your girlfriend? And I was just like,
so your mum picked up on it?
My mum outed me. I didn't get a chance to come out. She did, yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah, my mum just said, you're more than friends, right? And it was like, so I was between like,
wow, okay.
Yeah, I was like 14, and then she asked me when I was like 16.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So God, I mean, that's incredibly intuitive for a mother just to be super cool with it and be like, oh yeah, so I know that's your girlfriend.
I've been really lucky, and I know that, like, some people don't have that same experience, and my heart totally goes out to them.
Yeah.
Because it's awful. I mean, my auntie was homophobic. My auntie wrote me out of her will as soon as she found out. So that was the only like backlash that I got from it. She was quite religious.
Yeah.
And she was quite religious, and she didn't agree with my lifestyle at all. So she wrote me out of her will.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I hear this a lot. It's a lifestyle. It's definitely not. It's definitely who we are, isn't it? But this is how people perceive it. Like some people are still thinking that being gay is a choice for us as a community. Like nobody chooses to be gay. We just are. It's part of our DNA. It's who we are, isn't it?
Yeah, I was never given a choice, never had a gun to my head to say, right, you're going to choose this person or this person. That was, it was, I knew who I was from a really young age. And I'm really lucky to, have experienced that. I mean, it didn't go quite as well at school. I had to stay quite hidden because
really?
It was the 90s.
Yeah.
So it was the 90s. It was still a bit like, frowned upon.
God, yeah.
And very much hidden away. Called names. There was a rhyme about me. My name's George, so it was like Georgie Porgy, that rhyme. So there was rhymes. There was just pettiness, but actually that didn't really affect me. It didn't. I was like, do you know what? I know who I am, and just because you don't, that's not my problem.
Yeah. And so what was it? So you were outed. So your mum was just like, I know you're gay, so that's we're all good.
Yeah, my mum had told her work colleagues before I'd even told her. So,
And so what was it like for you coming out to everybody else? I suppose that the big worry that a lot of people have is whether they're going to have that rejection from their family and their loved ones or their parents if they're particularly close. But so you didn't have that. Is that what it is? Is that the case? Was that the case?
Yeah, I didn't get that. It was pretty much embracing. My dad, I think, well, just the way my dad is at the moment, it's difficult to judge how he feels, but he's always been quite supportive. He's very up and down with it all, but he just doesn't really understand. He doesn't really take an interest, which is fine.
Yeah.
But even my grandparents were all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Goodness me, you're very lucky. Very lucky indeed.
Yeah, very. And I can say that.
So it wasn't your sexuality that had an impact on your self-esteem or how you felt about yourself in the world, was it? Or was it?
No, I was very confident with who I am. I'm not going to say was, because that's past tense, but yeah, I'm very, very comfortable with who I am.
Yeah.
And I've never once had to question it, or never once questioned it. Yeah.
So when was it, George, that you started to become affected with anxiety and low confidence? What was it that was going on for you?
I think a series of sort of traumatic, abusive events had seriously led to me mistrusting people and getting quite nervous around people.
Yeah.
And then I felt that spiraled, especially when I moved out of my house, I moved out of the family home.
Yeah.
And got into a relationship with a much, much, much older woman.
Yeah.
There was 22 years between us.
How old were you? Did you say 19?
I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I needed to get out of the village. I needed to get out of the area.
Was this in Dorset, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I needed to get out, and I couldn't be there. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't be there, and I felt that all of a sudden where I'd had not been supported throughout the whole situation.
Yeah.
By my parents, or by my mum, the person that was supposed to look after me.
Yeah.
Then I sort of found a mother figure, as it were.
I see. Right.
Yeah. And a series of events after that, like, it was just a spiral. It was just I jumped from relationship to relationship. I wasn't stable in myself. I was always anxious, paranoid, frustrated, angry all the time.
Yeah. And of course, we're not going to go into any detail at all about anything that you've experienced in the past. But obviously, apart from the fact that it was traumatic, like you said, you experienced trauma as a kid, as a little one.
Yeah.
And of course, when we are children and we experience trauma and we don't know it's trauma, we take it for what it is and we think it's real, and we start to obey those ideas that are imprinted in our mind at that age, and we start to form beliefs about ourselves, and that kind of plays out in how we live our lives and how we show up and how we grow into that belief, because it then starts to spiral. Is that familiar for you?
Yeah, I hated myself. I felt that I was to blame for anything that was bad, happened.
Yeah.
So, any circumstance that wasn't the outcome that I was expecting, or that it was, something bad was happening, or, like your girlfriend cheating on you or whatever. Well, that's my fault. I've done this because I've experienced this. This is why these things keep happening to me.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the bad person.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I truly believed that.
So how was that belief playing out in your life, George? What was it that you were doing in response to that idea?
So I started self-harming when I was 11. Really bad. Really bad. And I took my first overdose at 11. I was a kid and I tried to commit suicide. And subsequently, every couple of years, I tried again and again and again. Not very successfully, because I'm still here. But that's,
Yeah.
I've been sectioned. I've been through numerous different therapies, and nothing made me feel better. I just didn't want to be here. That was the knock-on effect.
How long had that feeling of I just don't want to be here? How long was that in your life? How long was that prevalent in your life for?
30 whole years.
Right. Okay. And so things got pretty bad. You felt trapped, stuck, completely lost.
Yeah.
With all these types of habits to try and cope and to help yourself try to feel better, and nothing was working. So what What motivated or inspired you to take a different approach with your life?
I felt that I was ready to try and address some of the issues that I was experiencing. And I've been to therapy, she says. I've been to, I've done the talking therapies. I've done the, tell me how you feel, and okay, right, moving on. That sort of thing. I've been, and the thing with me is, because I didn't want to be there, and I didn't want to do it, and I didn't want to address it, and I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I basically told them what they wanted to hear to get me out of the door. I paid lip service to all the people that were there to help me.
Yeah.
Because in my eyes, it didn't work. It really? How can just talking work?
Yeah.
To me, that's how I felt personally.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That's been going on since I was 12. I started. Yeah, because the only way they let you out of the hospital sometimes is if you agree to go to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Or you're a psychologist or someone.
But you know you better than anybody, and I totally believe that. I think this being around within the health and wellness industry, particularly around mental health. I've had so many women sit in front of me and say, I've been diagnosed with all kinds of things, and I'm never going to be so arrogant to sit here and ever dispute a medical opinion, because I'm not a doctor. But I think mental health can take you on a trajectory where you just feel like you don't know yourself, and it makes you so vulnerable to the point where you just start to accept ideas about what other people think is wrong with you. Yeah. And I know you talk to me a lot about this when you talk to me about, I know you've been very open about this in the group when you talked about borderline personality disorder, and how you really felt that wasn't the case for you, but it was more the effects of trauma that was really going on.
Yeah, I never wanted a label. I was labelled with emotionally unstable personality disorder, EUPD.
Yeah.
I was given that diagnosis around.
How did you feel that, George? How did you feel about that? Sorry, my lovely, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I was just said I was given that 6 years ago.
Yeah.
How did I feel about that?
Yeah.
At the time, I thought, oh, finally, there's some. It's been recognised. Like, all of my feelings have been recognised, and they've grouped it into a nice little label, nice little box. That's and I genuinely was like, oh, okay,
right.
But then when you start doing the research and you read it and you think, oh, well, I do that and I do that, and then I started acting like being like that. Because all of a sudden someone's telling me I'm like that. So
you start to notice this subconscious response to that idea. Yeah. What do you think was really going on within you?
I was lost, Leanne.
Yeah. I know.
I'd lost me. Something major had happened around that time that I was diagnosed. I basically am a recovering drug addict. I used to take cocaine a lot. And it was only until I went to recovery that I started to see glimpses of who I was. I never knew myself before. Never knew who I was. I'd always lived my life through other people and through relationships and different, jump from one to the other. Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I was lost.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you're in a leadership role within your career now, and you're doing exceptionally well. And I know some people would probably hear, a recovering drug addict, what the hell? But, these things go hand in hand when your mental health is in such a state that you're trying holding down a job, trying to hold down a career. But there's so many women out there from our community that have got this hidden side to them that they're trying to cope with and deal with to present themselves as functioning and normal in the world to survive and get by.
Yeah, that I lived my life like that a lot. And, the more I was taking drugs, the more debt I was in, and the more it spiraled and spiraled and spiraled. And I didn't know a way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of this has led you along a certain path. So you're in this unstable position, lost, feeling like you don't know yourself. You started to go to drug recovery therapy, started to feel a little bit more in touch with who you were. Talk to me about what led you towards Braver Women. I'm really curious because you just seem to pop up out of nowhere, and I hadn't spoken to you before. Or what happened? What was going on?
So I was looking for sort of support groups and someone to talk to. I had got to the point where I was like, okay, I need some help, but I don't know where to go. Mm-hmm. And you popped up on the on Facebook, and I thought I'll give you a follow, mm-hmm. And to see what you know, you and other people are saying, and see if it's something that would work, you know, that I can relate to.
Yeah. And so what was it that you found you could relate to?
The deep and meaning questions that you ask people. You get people to think. Mm-hmm. And I like that. It made me, I never commented. I was a bit of a backseat passenger in your group.
So what else was going on for you? Why did you find Braver Women so appealing? What was it? I know that you were surrounded by a lot of other queer women in that community, albeit as a long-time lurker.
Yeah.
Digesting all the content and enjoying that. But what was it that made you think, I want to work with her?
I was ready. I was ready to lay my whole life bare and just and just figure out who I was, what I needed to do, you know, get rid of everything that I needed to that I felt I needed to get rid of. But I was looking through your posts, I was looking at other people's stories, and it was a bit of an off the cuff decision, if I'm honest. It really was. It wasn't I definitely need to work with you. It was just like I'd like to try and see, you know, am I ready? Am I going to dip my toes in and then get scared, or am I ready? And you made me realize that I'm ready. I was ready.
Yeah. And so I know that you said you've had therapy before and you've had talking therapy, and you just felt that for you personally it was ineffective and just not really hitting the mark for you. How did you find this process, the Braver Women process, a bit different, George?
I was, at the beginning, I thought, oh no, this is going to be real hard work. Like, I genuinely was like, I didn't know how it was going to play out. I'd not read about it before either. Like, I come into this totally blind, totally blind, not knowing exactly what you did. I didn't even research you. It was because I saw your posts, and I thought, I like what I see, and you're getting results. And if you can sort out all of these people that I can relate to, like, you know, you can help all of these people that I relate to. Please, you've got to help me.
Bless your heart.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. And so how did you find the process a bit different to what you've experienced then, George? What was it that I know you said it was hard work, but here's the thing, and I say this in nearly every success story that I do, is that a lot of people come to therapy and they're waiting to be therapized. Fixed. It's not really a word, is it? But you know, I think everyone can relate to it, can't they? Just can you do the magic wand, and I will just go out feeling completely different. And it's not like that, is it?
No, it's not at all. It's you get out of it 20-fold what you put into it. Like, you really do. And I thought, you know, updating you on a daily basis would become a bit of a chore for me, you know, a bit like, you're eating into my evening, Leanne. Like, you know, I want to go down the pub for a beer and I've got to stand outside in the freezing cold giving you an update. Like, literally, that's like, I thought that's how I would feel. I was like, you know, I made a set time and I tried to stick to it as much as possible. I mean, you know, every now and then it went a bit awry, but I felt that I worked as hard as I could in this process, and the way that the way that you have been, and like, you've made me do the work. It's not you at all. You haven't had to fix me.
Nope.
Yeah.
It was, I really feel, for me, therapy is a meeting of minds. It's a collaborative process, and I'm only ever as good as the rapport that I've got with the women who sit in front of me, and the trust. That's so important, and being able to have that common ground, which of course we have. So, but being able to have access to your unique patterns that aren't the same for everybody. Talk about some of the first things that I noticed with you on session 1 that were just game changers.
Yeah, so the first thing you noticed was how quickly I spoke, and how I never gave you a definitive answer to anything. Yeah, I think that drove you crazy in the first session. And I kept saying sorry a lot.
You kept apologising for yourself, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's funny because people say sorry to me now and I go, please don't be. It's weird. But yeah, no, you made me take my tongue bar out, Leanne.
Well, I mean, it was an ask, a request, just to see the difference.
And it has. And I've kept it out. And I am a much more confident. I think about what I'm saying instead of letting my brain and my mouth run.
Yeah, you're present in your body, in your mind, in your body. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's the acute patterns. It's the things that I notice with everyone that sits in front of me. And if you don't mind me saying, I know we've laughed about it, haven't we? Is this tongue bar rattling against your teeth while you were thinking? And I thought, if we just take, everything is patterned. If we just take something out and just see how that makes you feel, are you able to think differently? Because it was almost the trigger for, I need to disassociate.
Yeah.
And as soon as that tongue bar came out, instantly, you were able to think, oh my God, I actually felt like quite present in my body, which was amazing to witness.
Yeah.
And I think that you're really playing it down how much you have. I've always said this to you, George, you don't ever give yourself enough credit, because you're an incredibly conscientious person, and once I'd trained and coached you on how to think, how to respond, how to work with your brain to actually make it work for you rather than against you, and instantly change the way that you were feeling emotionally and responding to your emotions over time by repetition. What did you start to notice?
I noticed the change within I would say the second week. I mean, I felt really invigorated after the first session.
Yeah.
Really, like, I felt so positive. Mm-hmm. But after the second session, I noticed even just little tweaks and changes where I shocked myself.
Mm-hmm. Give us an example.
Yeah, just the way I held myself, the way I presented to other people.
Yeah.
That people started to take me a little bit more seriously, because I wasn't just blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I would think of think of the solution before like the problem arose. Yeah. Because
Talk to us about what your colleagues and your partner have noticed.
So my girlfriend brags that she's got a new girlfriend, which is quite funny when she goes to work and they go, oh. My colleagues have noticed a more sane, stable.
You do quite a high pressured job, George, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. It's a tough job, and it's different every day. It's not a lovely 9-to-5 office job where hard work. It's hard work.
Yeah.
And I'm a manager. I'm sort of deputy manager. Mm-hmm. And my actual direct boss has noticed that she doesn't even have to be in the department anymore. That she can just say, right, George, I'm working from home. You know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what
Incredible.
you're doing, you know.
Uh-huh.
But
And they're even talking about promoting you at the moment, aren't they?
yeah, I'm
role.
going to be working different a different place. But I've sort of been headhunted for public sector work. So
absolutely,
which will be massive. It will be the lead in my field. The lead in my field.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So talk to us about, people are trying to listen, going to be listening to this, trying to get their heads around it. So
yeah,
life before compared to life now. What's the difference in how long was it we worked together? Was it October the 15th?
October the 5th, yeah. Yeah.
And we're now
December the 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I feel like a totally different person. Like I've like I said to you, I'd found my true authentic self.
Yeah.
And I actually really like myself.
So
yeah.
The true authentic self. Who is the true authentic? And how do you know when you're being true and authentic?
Oh, I'm really mischievous, like ridiculously so. That comes out more when I'm happy. I'm content. That's how I know that I'm my true authentic self. I'm happy. I'm content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to process things a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't panic. I don't have the anxiety. I don't have the frustration and disappointment that life was.
Yeah.
I'm the master of my own destiny. Like seriously, the master of my own destiny. I'm you know, I can do whatever I want to do, and you know, with the boundaries and that I set, and all of the other things that are there, I'm living my best life.
That's incredible to hear, because that definitely was not what it was at the start, and I'm just so proud of you, George. I really am. So, if you think about everything that you're experiencing right now in your own internal reality, with how you feel, that inner contentment, that peace, that confidence in yourself, that whatever comes your way, you're going to be able to handle it. So you haven't just got there through a flick of a switch or a wave of a magic wand.
No.
Without giving any of the tools or the techniques or the therapy away.
Yeah.
What habits do you have now that you advocate as non-negotiables to keep yourself in this really steady, stable place?
Even just the simple thing of just stopping and just taking that minute, taking myself away out of a situation, just saying to somebody, I'm not comfortable with this. I will be back when I've had to think. Yeah. When I've processed this.
Yeah.
And I can walk away from a situation or an argument or confrontation.
Yeah.
Was before I felt I was being attacked all the time, and to just say, give me a minute. Yeah. We'll talk about this in an adult way. Like, you know.
Well, yeah. That's it. So good to hear. So good to hear. So what advice would you give then to any members in the group around emotional self-care?
Take time for you. Take time to breathe. Take time to really appreciate how you're feeling. Don't let emotions run wild. Definitely don't let emotions run wild, because normally your worst case scenario ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, how much of what you worry about has ever come true?
Yeah, it really not much. I used to think the worst, like, oh my God, this is gonna happen and it's gonna be, the world is gonna end. No, it's really not. Yeah.
I remember when we'd interact each day, and you'd say, Leanne, today I panicked, and so this was like this was a theme for a little while. And we got to about weeks 5 or 6, and I said, you've not said that. You haven't said that at all. And your tempo with your updates, everything like that, with vocally, that whole thing, the whole shebang had altered. And it was just like just watching George, but just super relaxed and super calm, and just very much steady. Your own internal foundations nice and solid. And so the beliefs that you had that were driving this emotional reaction, which were leading to the thoughts and then the behaviors and all of that. So you felt that you weren't good enough, felt that you were always to blame, worthless. Yeah. That was a big one. What was that like?
Yeah, that was a big one. I find this really hard to talk about right now because I don't feel any of these things, and to go back is actually quite hard. Yeah, because I don't really remember feeling that bad. Yeah. Whereas I know I was at breaking point. Yeah. That's I think my key was I was at breaking point, and I was just not good enough. I self-sabotaged. I was worthless. I felt useless, helpless. All the things a human being shouldn't feel. Absolutely. And and
I can never get my head around the fact that I used to think those things as well about myself. And it is crazy to think that we're only ever really one thought away from a completely different internal experience. Yeah. And what we focus on, we tend to see a lot more of. And so if you think about your beliefs about yourself now, what do you, I know you're smiling there because I know you're looking forward to telling me, what do you goddamn deep down know about yourself now, George, with absolute certainty?
I am this hidden, confident person. It was hidden. I never realized that, and it's a confidence without an arrogance, which is massive for me. I'm quite a humble person anyway. All of the qualities that I did have that made me who I was, I feel like they're tenfold now. Like all those things that, when you're in an interview at work and someone says, give me five words about yourself. And then you sit there and you think, I don't know any nice ones. I don't really know what to say. Yeah. But all those things where you say trustworthy and, all of those things that you say, I feel them tenfold now. I genuinely feel that.
So it's George, but without self-doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I can doubt a decision. I'm going to always doubt whether I've made the right choice, but I'm confident with the choice that I've made the best one for me.
Yeah, so you're not going to put that pressure on yourself to say, well, I'm never ever going to not be certain. But what I can be certain with is that I know that I can do the best for myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to be a people pleaser. I'm not now. I'll go. I won't go out of my way to make someone feel, feel something, anything.
What were you scared of? Because people pleasing, my God, it's such a big thing for queer women, isn't it? Yeah, it's so prevalent. What people don't understand is that people pleasing is actually an anxiety response. It's a fawn response. It's almost like you see dogs can roll over onto their bellies and go, "Hey, just tickle my belly, I'm cool," but they're not cool. And it's no different to human beings when we feel scared. It's the please and appease, and to be liked, to be accepted, to fit in, to not be to feel like the odd one out. How much of that do you recognize?
That was me. That was me, and that's I was a people pleaser. I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to be happy around me. I didn't want any confrontation. I didn't want an argument. I didn't. I just didn't want people to not be okay. I mean, and I'd do everything in my power and then exhaust myself.
Yeah.
It would take it all out of me, just trying to make sure someone's okay, and that, you know, I was making someone happy, but the person I wasn't making happy was me.
Yeah. And so what do you find yourself doing instead? What have you noticed since you've been through this process that you do with people rather than pleasing and appeasing? What is it that you do instead? How do you show up differently?
I've started to set boundaries of like what I will and won't accept from someone, especially in a relationship. And actually also with like family relationships. I've done it with my brother recently. And we've sort of come to loggerheads, and then he's apologized to me, and he's gone, I'm sorry, I think I stepped over your boundary. And that happened. This was literally the other day, so I haven't had a chance to tell you. But
yeah.
What
did you do, George? What was it? What did you do to bring about that result?
I know I put my foot down, and I was like, I live so far away from my dad. I am there when I can be. I speak to him 5 times a day.
Yeah.
He's not well, so like, you know, I speak to him 5 times a day. I am there emotionally and on, you know, at the end of a phone, and I come down at least twice a month. I live too far away now.
Yeah.
When I'd said, he'd misread a message that I'd sent, and then I got an apology because it was a boundary that I had set about how I was going to deal with my dad, and he misread it. But then apologized and was like, wow, okay, I've just stepped over that boundary, like, I'm sorry. So, but it works in my relationship, it works with parenting. I found that, wow, that's totally different from me. I was being walked all over, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. I think people say, well, I have got boundaries, and but I say to them, well, do you know what they are? Well, I know what they are, but do other people? Well, no.
Yeah.
So, but how do you live by the boundaries? Well, I just tell them to others and expect them to obey them. It doesn't work like that, does it?
No, it really doesn't. And that's how I was living. Like, literally, I was like, this is how I expect you to be in my head. And if you're not living up to that expectation, then, you know, there's something so fundamentally wrong with you. But no, it's not. It's because I haven't said anything.
Yeah, you haven't said or done anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you find, what was the most groundbreaking thing for you about this therapy, this type of therapy that you've had? What was it that was the line in the sand for you that really just made the difference, that made the difference?
When everything clicks into place, and when you say what you say, when you say it, and it makes sense. No, do you know what I mean? You mean know why? I know you know what I mean by that. But when you say what you say, when you say it, and at that particular point, it makes sense and it clicks. It finally clicks, and you think, how have I not been? How has that not been able to be registered before? How have I not perceived it like that? That's, you know, it clicks into place, and it clicks into place really quickly.
What would you say to anyone who was sitting on the sidelines wondering as to whether they were going to take this journey or contact me or reach out and be part of the community? What would you say to them?
I would say that for anyone that is genuinely struggling and doesn't know a way out of it, what you do and how you are with people will definitely help. And it's not just help, but, you know, it's life-changing work what you do, Leanne. It's truly life-changing work.
Well, it's an honour. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And if I could ask you one thing, in fact, 2 things I'm going to ask you, George. Just going to keep you for a couple more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is in store for you now that you are no longer your worst inner critic?
Moving onwards and upwards with work. That's like, I've zoomed up the career ladder in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm going to be buying my house.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the confidence to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and like, you know, stick with it. I've got a better relationship with my son.
Wow.
And that for me is the pivotal thing, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And so lastly, what words of wisdom would you give from your life experiences so far to help any members, any queer women in the group who are struggling with self-acceptance or inner peace, and they're showing up in exactly the same way that you were? And feel free, it doesn't have to be a single sentence. Just, I'm going to hand the mic over to you and just allow you to share some of that incredible wisdom and the bravery that you've gained as a result of everything that you've done all the way up and through this point.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I would say that your life experiences do not define you. They do not make you who you are and who you truly are.
Mm-hmm.
You are all strong, you're all brave, and you just have to believe it.
You just have to believe it. And
you
that's
just
the
have
thing,
to
isn't
believe
it?
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, George, I just want to say thank you so much for just being a remarkable client and for being brave enough to share your success to inspire other queer women around the globe who will resonate with some of what you've said tonight, some of the experiences that you've had in your life and how you've actually changed your mind to change your life and to start valuing yourself and showing up in the world differently and having more of an impact on those around you. So I for one, I'm incredibly proud of you, and I really hope that you're going to stick around within the Braver Women community as a Braver buddy and just be very much part of the family, part of what we do at Braver Women. I can't wait to see what's in store for you. So thank you. Thanks for choosing me as your guide and your therapist.
No, thank you, Leanne. Thank you.
All right, my lovely. You take care and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, no worries.
All the best. Bye for now.
See you later.